Hello, everybody. It's once again time for the Dirty Possum podcast. Big clap this time. Now, look at that. Wow. See, do you see how much better that sounds? All right. Okay, here you go. Let's get to know the room and everybody in it. First off, we have performance artist Dave Longren.
Hello.
All right, you'll be hearing a little bit more from Dave later on, I'm sure. And, of course, the yin to his yang, it is Caleb Davis from Laugh Hub City.
Don't put me in some sort of circle with him. Yeah. Whoa, I feel balanced.
You have the two symbols looking at each other's rear ends like that.
Yeah, and that's the symbol of 69 also, Caleb, may I remind you.
His personal favorite.
Yeah. All right, and that last voice you just heard is our special guest this week, Chris Hobart. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm great. Well, it's great to be here.
It is so great to see you out of the house. We're going to get back to you in just a minute. Is there a joke there? I didn't know there was a joke. I just haven't seen him much lately.
No, well, he's got a kid. He don't go anywhere.
I got stuff going on, guys.
He probably told the wife, I got to work late tonight, honey. It's Friday night. A lot of prescriptions to fill for Saturday morning rush. But he's over here filming a fucking podcast with us.
That's what I do, eh?
Yeah, that's what I do.
All right, and of course, Dave Longren over here. Dave, now you are on some kind of spiritual journey.
Yes.
Would you like to explain that a little bit?
I'm tired of the bullshit of the world.
Right.
And I am eliminating bullshit in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I found that the best way to do that is kind of be spiritual.
Right.
But I ain't no West Texas Church Christian motherfucker.
Okay, then.
Let's just get that out on the road. And I go to church twice a week. Except till I had this fucking new job where I got to work Wednesday fucking night because the kitchen manager needs Wednesday off.
All right, now, I have my own.
Oh, yeah, I know we're going to hear it now. Oh.
Can I just say that Dave is barefoot right now in a tank top? It's like,
Hey, I'm a little redneck.
See, I think the rest of the guys in the room will agree that your real problem is you got a case of the dry dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, no fucking shit. Okay. Yeah, no, it's
Somebody fuck this man.
Fuck you, it's self-prescribed. I'm still paying on that other motherfucker I just had 13 years ago, so fuck. Y'all laugh. There's that little motherfucker over there. He's got 4 kids, and only 2 of them are his. And he wanted to be so fucking in debt, he went out and got 2 more. Dumb motherfucker. And now you gotta work 12-hour days, 7 days a week, and I hear you bitching and crying. Fuck you, you dug your own fucking grave. And then the motherfucker right next to me, Caleb, doesn't have any kids we know of.
Yeah.
And then, I don't
That's
know.
right.
It's no
Because I take the condom with me after it's done.
Yeah. And Chris, oh, I love her. I'm going to have a baby with her. I own my own blah, blah, blah.
I had a baby at 30 because I make smart decisions.
Hey, I had a baby at 30.
Plan that
I had a baby at fucking 42.
You know,
fuck you.
I don't want to. I guess I have to be the one.
2 different baby mamas, so fuck you. One's black, so top that motherfucker. Do you have the black merit badge? No. And you're never going to get it because you're fucking married.
I didn't have that
Your
in my
life
Boy
is
Scout
over.
group.
Your sexual fucking adventures are gone. Now you're up here on a Friday fucking night recording a shitty podcast with me, Wes, and Caleb. That's what your life has turned into. That's what your life is going to be for the next 65 years if you live that long, but you might die of fucking boredom. So fuck you and your goddamn little fucking store that people get happy shit from based on the fucking...
Jesus Christ.
Based on the goddamn pharmaceutical entertainment complex.
Let's have a good time,
fuck
Dave.
you. Fuck y'all.
I still want to know what the black merit patch has a picture of.
Yeah, what is on that?
It's a black. It's a.
No, we're not going to go there, Dave. No, we're not going to go there. That's a toss away, is what that is. So,
a toss away meaning rhetorical question. That's what he meant.
Here we go. I mentioned on the last podcast that of all the comedians I've dealt with over many, many years, all of them have really been into some messed up stuff. Any chance they've got to do something weird or anything like that, they've done it. But there is room for a few comedians out there who are into the normalcy. And to me, that's a lot like what Mr. Hobart over here does, and keeps the twisted stuff happening in your brain.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also say that's what I'm into.
Yeah, and he does a lot of pedophile jokes, so what the fuck?
I have one, Dave.
You got one, yeah, one
haven't told it
that's
to
inappropriate.
everyone has
One's
one.
enough to get you about 7 years.
One's enough to get you shivved in the fucking yard, too, you little pedophile motherfucker. Don't you know anything about prison? They put pedos in a fucking separate holding tank.
Well, tell us more, Dave.
Yeah, and if a
Sounds
pedo
like this is
gets
coming
out
from
loose,
experience.
he gets out loose in the fucking in the dining room. They're all it's pedo fucking beat up time.
Yeah.
Even they let the even
They're on the
little,
pedo diet?
they let the punk ass bitches beat up the pedos in prison.
You know,
Did you
Dave,
know that?
Dave, you remind me of like a full balloon that somebody just squeezing that noise out of, and all of us are just waiting for the balloon to run out for that last little bit where it just goes. That's what we're waiting
We're
for
waiting
here.
well, you got 20 minutes to wait, motherfucker.
Dave, did you join a cult?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
like the Facebook
yeah.
Swami of the cult? That
No, yeah,
You're posting a lot of motivational stuff. I've
Yeah,
noticed.
and your mom is fucking my cultress. Your mom is my mistress.
You got me.
Lady. Oh wait, that's your mother-in-law. I'm sorry. Fuck you! You open the door. You called down the thunder. I brought the motherfucking lightning, biatch. You want to go head to head?
He's definitely got the black marriage job.
This ain't the laugh off. It is Dirty Possum Codcast, starring Dirty Possum himself.
The
Dave
Codcast.
Lundgren.
Oh, the dirty possum himself.
The Codcast?
Codcast? Well, I got a cod piece on, so it is a codcast right now.
All right, Mr. Hobart, let's talk more about what you're doing these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, let the guest speak a little
7
bit.
minutes in. Fucking one sentence out of this bastard.
All right. Okay, go. I'll be quiet for 5 seconds.
I went to San Francisco recently with the family. We took a trip out there, and
Yeah?
we requested an SUV.
Yeah.
But they gave us 2 minivans, so I'm a little self-conscious sometimes, and I was worried that I would look like the gayest guy in San Francisco as I was driving a van.
Why? Because you're the gayest guy looking in Lubbock? Yeah, no, you're just big turds in a small fucking lake here. Go to San Francisco. You're a little
kind of
turd
minivan?
in a big gay lake. You ain't gonna look
Gay
gay out
lake.
there. You look gay here. Look at everybody in this room right now. Cool. Even Feldman's over there. Cool. Look at Hobart. Gay. Fuck you.
What kind of minivan? Describe the minivan.
Really gay. That's the best words I have for
The
it.
side doors open automatically.
Oh, yeah.
And you
Well,
jump
at
out
least
like,
you went to San Francisco and did something gay. It's not like you went to fucking Omaha and had tacos.
That's a callback.
Yeah.
All right, so where else have your travels taken you this year?
I just got back from Cancun last weekend. So we're out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it safe down there anymore?
They pay enough, yeah.
Isn't that Puerto Rico?
Pay for safety there.
Do you really pay for safety?
Yes.
That is not a joke. What do you do? What do you do though? I mean, how does that process work?
So it was really nice. We went to an all-inclusive resort. It was very family-friendly. A lot of little kids there, just having a ball. And they
yeah.
went to
Great place
activities.
for Hobart to be.
So it was cool. There was a lot of kids. Everyone's having a good time. It was a gated place. You could tell they
Yeah.
kept that gate under tight security. And
Yeah.
a lot of jungle is the weird thing. Like there's not a lot of. There's like maybe all along the beach. There's maybe like I don't know 2 football fields worth of like living and stuff, and then beyond that is just jungle.
Cool.
Like,
Just heavy
you know,
jungles.
Yeah,
Oh,
just cocaine
yeah.
growing jungle. Nothing. Just
Did you go
you know,
out in the
cartel.
woods? Did you go out in the jungle and have your Vietnam flashbacks like a real man?
But what is the point of going to a foreign destination and then being enclosed? I'm not understanding how that works.
Yeah, the people in Jonestown did that in Guyana, and look where they got them. Fucked up on purple Kool-Aid. Hey, come down to Cancun and stay in our compound. drink the purple Kool-Aid after you've given us $10,000 for each person. Oh, don't worry. Your teenage daughters will be taken care of nicely. Very nicely.
So a fucking prospector? A fucking prospector? That's who markets to him? Hey there, young fella. I got a couple kids with you?
That's the only fucking voice I can do. God damn it. Fuck you. It's the same voice for everything. It's my fucking animated voice. Hey, young man. Here's a piece.
He's getting into that Riversmith thing, isn't he?
It's indeed.
Yeah, you can blame Caleb Davis for all that shit.
But no, I'm serious. So you go down there. What's the point? I mean, the weather is fucking hot and muggy, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it was nice. You're right on the beach, so you just get those beach winds coming in, and
Right.
it's really good. I mean, it was hot as hell, but it was nice. The beach is beautiful. I mean, way better than Galveston or whatever we can get in Texas, So it was. I mean, it was nice.
I don't even consider Galveston a beach.
Dude, you're talking
that's
to
the
two
goal, right?
motherfuckers he grew up on the Pacific. I grew up on the Atlantic. Galveston and the fucking whatever Gulf of Mexico, is that what it is? Can suck a big dick because there's turds that are floating in the fucking Gulf of Mexico.
He's got a personal problem with the Gulf.
Yeah, because
Goddamn Gulf.
down in Cancun, they got little fucking dudes with the fucking little baskets to scoop out the poop from Texas. Okay, you can go, Chris. 5 seconds.
This is his last job.
I don't know. It's good. It's basically you're just at a long-term living facility, just in they take care of everything. After you
You could just go to Carolina for the fucking weekend.
I mean, you're not like you can leave. It's just like you don't want to,
Right? I know some people who went to the Sandals resorts, and I guess they're all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
And said people would come up to you and they would try to sell you either a $5 shell or a $10 shell. And you weren't buying the shell, you were buying what was in the shell. Did you run across any of that? Did anybody approach you like that?
No, they got kept out of the gate. There was no panhandling.
Oh, man,
there.
the same thing happened to me in Vegas. You got, hey, you want my demo CD? $5. Oh, I don't want your demo CD. And they flip it over, and there's a free surprise in the back.
Ooh.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
I know when I stayed in Cancun, our bellhop was the man. I mean, how convenient is that? He delivers the bags
Right.
to
the
your
bags.
room and then delivers the bags back to your room.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is
After
handy.
he shut the door and it's like, hey man, y'all trying to get fucked up is what's going on. I'm your guy. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Well,
Emilio, we're gonna be very
I got to
close
tell you
friends.
this. You guys may have noticed I'm a rather large fellow. But the idea of going to Mexico is bothersome to me, even though I get along with Hispanic people, but it's not the same as people that are in Mexico.
Yeah.
Hobart, you're about 10 shades whiter than I am.
Yeah, and you're
What
gay
did you
and
did
you're wearing Under Armour.
did you not have any
Thank you for sponsoring the
apprehensions
show,
or
Under
what?
Armour.
He was with his wife.
It was a good time, man.
That's it.
Super
Okay,
nice.
so-
I mean, they see a white guy and they're just catered to. And they're like, they knew I'm foreign, and I don't know. There's a big service industry in Cancun. They don't really have not much else going on. And
Yeah? So if you got cash, you're just good to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
You just tip everyone $1.
Hey, okay,
Yep.
Chris,
Have a good
seriously, who did you go with? Your wife?
Yeah, just me and my wife.
Just you and your wife, no
Get
kid?
away. Yeah, it was for a wedding. One of Keely's friends.
Oh, man, I suck.
That's awesome.
My life sucks.
All right, now we're going to have a special feature on the show right now called Dave Shut the Fuck Up. And we're going to give Chris Hobart a minute to get back at Dave for all his bullshit.
Oh, Dave.
Dave, you can't say anything. You got to let him go.
Cut his mic.
He turned it around.
Oh, Dave, you're too kind. So, Dave, we had a Facebook conversation with all of us that we would be on this podcast. And right after that, I get all these friend requests from these Russian bots, all with a mutual friend of Dave. Dave's Facebook has herpes. It's so bad because it's an internet, the internet STD, and you can just click a button to get rid of it. But Dave's like, no, it's here to stay.
It comes back
friends
once
now.
a month.
Dave, you look like You sell beard balm from Scentsy? Like, that's what you've been doing in your spare time. This is your side gig. It smells so good today. Hashtag Scentsy. Hashtag Riversmith beard.
All right, I got a message from Dave myself. I was showing this to Caleb earlier. It says, Anwa, corn bud from Riversmith's bag of dicks, fuck you. That is the honest to God message that I got right there.
Okay.
All right, Dave, you can turn your mic
All right,
around.
I fucking his minute was over. But I'm just gonna sit back and relax.
All right, let's get back. Once again, I always like to steer these back to being a comedian in Lubbock, Texas, because the whole topic has always fascinated with me, and I've certainly sat here and asked the same questions of people who are much more popular than you guys.
Wow.
Yet we're here on a Friday night. Will.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you're here with us on a Friday night.
You're here on a Friday night. The real comedians are working.
Yeah. Whoa.
So.
Touche.
Yeah, Miguel does have a job on Friday night.
I still find it really, really interesting. It would be great if America was a melting pot, like they said. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there is something special about going to a laugh-off, and I see somebody like Hobart with somebody like Dave and Feldman, and then Joe Cash and Timothy comes in, and even Miguel, and even what's her name, Selena, and stuff like that. There is a brotherhood there. Is it because you guys all have taken the similar beatings on stage?
Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, I feel like we've all put in our time, and we've had to go and suffer through that first open mic where you're just so nervous, and you're just you don't.
It's like being in the army together, I guess. Right?
Yeah, you all went through the similar trauma. You all went up and you suffered through your first one, and you put it behind you, and you're like, man, I want to go try it again. And then you're like, man, how do I get better? How do I actually make people laugh? How do I turn this into something that I enjoy? Because the first time you're just like, I think I'm funny, but I mean, when you get in front of people, a lot of people say that one of the biggest fears in life, more than dying, is public speaking.
Right.
So there is like a real rush to that, like kind of like a skydiving type rush that I felt.
I don't have any problem with that. I haven't really tried to do an act, but I've been called upon many times to introduce bands and stuff. And it was when I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna have some fun.
Yeah.
Is when it started to turn around. And that's also one other thing that I wanted to put into this, if you guys can take something away from this. I've trained hundreds and hundreds of DJs, and back in the day, you would need a dozen or 20 to run a radio station. So you would run into people at a convenience store or something like that and go, wow, you got a great personality and decent voice. You want to try doing this? And the minute you bring them down into the room, they try to be what they think a DJ should sound like, instead of sounding like the guy you met in that place. And you have to train them to go 360 degrees back to where you met them. And I think that that's what stand-up is really about, is going back to that authentic, real voice that really is you. And I think that when you put on an act, and we've discussed this before, when somebody has, it's time to be Big John Smith instead of regular John Smith, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Man, you hit it on the head, man. And that's how I've come. I mean, I've been always Naked Day persona and all this shit. And man, I didn't start living life until I just figured out who the fuck Dave is.
I don't think you're quite there yet. I mean, I'm not making a joke here or anything.
I didn't say I'm there. I'll never be there. I'll never absolutely figure it out until I'm on my deathbed. But I did a spoken word at John Lewis Smith's open mic at J&B Coffee.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I went up on stage as me.
As Dave.
You
felt like it was completely real and there was no act.
It was completely real. It was... I still amped it up a little bit because I'm on stage. I am a performer. But talk about having...
But see, that's the deal. And I think that a lot of you guys have reached that too, or very close. Yeah. It's never going to be 100%, but you can't be 25% of somebody else. You can only be like a 1 or 2%.
Yeah.
That it's an exaggeration of yourself.
That's where I'm going to right now, because I used to say a lot off the wall. I had a pedophile joke. I clearly got that out of my repertoire, and I had a joke about how I took really girthy dumps, and I thought people might think I'm gay because
Right.
It's so great. And those were terrible jokes, and they weren't me, and they had nothing to do with my life. I would just take, bad topics and try and make a joke. Like, I would start at the end, like, this would be funny, and then try and make a joke out of some weird premise. And now I'm trying to clean it up. I don't curse anymore. I'm trying to do more family-friendly stuff, because I have a family, so I should probably talk about that. Little kid,
Well, you got to talk
jokes.
about your experiences.
Yeah, and that's where I'm trying to, because at first I was like, my life isn't that funny. I'm a pharmacist. I have a wife, daughter. I mean, my life is pretty set. There's not really a ton of, like, crazy stuff that happens to me anymore. So.
Oh, trust me, there are far more people who have far more boring existences than yours that have turned it around.
And you think those people are cool and all that. Chris, you're doing what you need to be doing. You got a fucking cool wife. You got a fucking cool job. Haven't met your kid yet. You don't even let me come around to meet her. But, dude, fuck it. Fuck what everybody else
You know what?
thinks.
If this ends with a hug, we did it wrong.
Yeah.
Fuck both of y'all.
I just didn't get any inspiration from that. Like, I wasn't like, my life is so funny, I'm going to tell it on stage. It's like, I really got to dig. I mean, there's not a ton of
Yeah.
material there, in my opinion.
At least in like my experience, most of the time, whenever someone kills and they do a fantastic set,
Yeah.
you don't feel like it doesn't seem like it's an act.
No, it's the same person
you
on
feel like-
stage is
yeah,
off.
You feel like they're talking straight to you. They're hitting their punchlines. They're filling the audience. So it almost feels effortless. I know on one of these we've talked about how you can be almost too polished for your room.
Yeah. Exactly.
So all of a sudden you're like, this is where you're supposed to
And
laugh.
it doesn't work.
It's
And
like fuck that. You got to be adaptable.
Especially if you're surrounded by people who are comfortable in their skin, then you look like a jackass.
No doubt.
If you're too polished.
Yeah.
All right, Caleb Davis, tell us where we can see the good people of Laugh Hub City.
Laugh Hub City, we've got open mics on Tuesday. That's a every other week show. We've got our Wednesday at Lantern. That's every week. Thursday at Nick's, our once a month World of Beer, which is a riot, and then Bar PM every other Sunday. So make sure you find us on Facebook at Laugh Hub City. We'll post those shows, and that way you can make sure and attend, or if you want to come out and do the mic.
And we need to mention that whenever the comedians are on stage, Dave is not allowed to yell and interrupt them.
Yeah, Dave doesn't have a mic.
Hey, what am I, fucking
still
pizza
might.
guy?
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
You can still hear him.
yeah, it's outside.
Hey, I only charge the stage when the guy's doing a shitty job.
Yeah.
That's my fucking job. Kid out all the non-hackers.
All right, thanks everybody. This has been the Dirty Possum Podcast. Once again, our special guest, Chris Hobart, Caleb Davis, the man with the mouth, Dave Longren. My name's Wes.